Back for hour two in Kenora, Saskatchewan. Hockey Day in Saskatchewan here. It's Brandon and Barney, Colson and Alan back at the ship. Got everything buttoned up. It's a full slate of events. Tomorrow, Sunday, all the info, Hockey Day in sask.ca. And then you can bid on all the silent auction items. Amazing. Like the wall here of silent auction items. Marty McSorley coming up in hour three. He's one of the speakers tonight. And Don Chesney, legendary junior hockey coach from this area, is one of the speakers. He's also joining us right now at the curling rink here. Ches, you made it in. How about those roads? This is just beautiful Saskatchewan. Looks like you're going to a playoff game, eh?
Yeah, well, we're used to this. Geographically, I live right between Yorkton and Malville, the way the crow flies. So we're used to driving on ice. And my wife, she gets pretty worried on icy roads. So we came early. And anybody driving out, just take it easy from about the White Sand River to here. We'd rather be talking to you than about you.
Classic. We got an afternoon shift and on the weekends available. Ches on CKRM if you're not doing anything.
No, you guys are doing a good job.
Hey, so story goes, you coached here in Kenora. That was the junior B team. That was after your stint in Melville.
Yeah, in 1995, I was going good in Melville. I brought a goalie in from Slovakia, and he had big expectations, and he was a good kid, but he got homesick, and it just went downhill. My score started to dry up, like sometimes the Leafs do and the Oilers, and I got fired, and I was okay with that. They told me to go back to the ranch and I could feed my cows, so they didn't really feel sorry for me. I had a job, and then I got hooked up with the Kenora Cobras, and when I look back now, that was a huge job for me to get back into hockey.
You mentioned recruiting a goalie from Slovakia. What was that like recruiting in the 90s from overseas like that?
You know what? I'll tell you what happened. I paid a guy in Regina, I forget his name, $500 to bring me a goalie. So that he brought that kid over, and the kid was good. He didn't have no equipment, so we had to buy him all brand new equipment. And he was, I remember him really good. He was like almost like a professional gymnast. Before the games, he was kicking balls up and his heels in the air and all that. And he could stop the puck, but like I just said off air, he got homesick, and everything went south from there.
You get any 500 back?
No.
What was the league like back then? Junior B league, like you think of that junior B, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It was tough hockey, good hockey, tough hockey.
Yeah, it was a little bit before that. Was almost too goonish. It was just like some guys were just looking to fight. But when I come in there were some good teams. The Cinnaboy had a really strong franchise. Old Chick Wolski was there, and he won about 9 championships in a row. And, there was Regina and a few teams. Maple Creek was in. So, it was pretty good hockey when I was there. Now, 30 years later, because I'm involved with the Fort Knox, too, this year, and I helped them scout, and the hockey's really good now. In fact, we played the Quakers a couple of weeks ago, and they had 3 guys that played in the Western League this year. Young guys that were 17 went to Western League teams, got sent down to Junior A, and they just said, no, they're going to go to university and just play for fun. So Junior B is good hockey now. Back in those days, it was half rough, but, I didn't mind that.
We have to go to break here. We got a loose mic. Just don't go anywhere.
No, I'm just telling you.
We're back here. Sorry, technical difficulties, right? Live show. You never know what you're going to get. We're live in Kenora, Saskatchewan. Barney Schenker, Brandon's going to take a step aside for a sec there. Mike, I should add Don Chesney still with us. So join here. So you talked about coaching in Kenora. It kind of rejuvenated your coaching career a little bit. I want to get into Yorkton, and you win a national championship with the Yorkton Terriers, 2014. Does it seem like 11 years already for them?
Yeah, well, when you get into your 70s, it's gone by really quick. And I love it when we come back to things like this and people still remember. And of course, I got my ring on tonight. I'll be flashing a little later on to show everybody. But yeah, 11 years goes by quick, and it was an accumulation. I had started coaching out with Brad McEwen, Malvern Millionaires, 3 years. Then I was with Norm Johnson with the Pats for just a little bit. And then I was with Doug Headley with the LeBret Eagles for 3-4 years. So to be honest, I kind of took the best out of all of those guys and spun my own style on it. And I kind of knew what I needed to win a national championship. And when I look at the Canadian World Junior this year, really they didn't do a very good job at picking the guys. But I knew that you needed some real keen guys, some salt and pepper guys, a couple guys that you maybe some weekends didn't know where they were. You had to have all those kind of guys in order to win a championship. And I was lucky it paid off.
What was that team? What was the makeup of that team? What made you guys so good?
I got to be honest. I mean, I was just a general manager, but I had great coaches. I had Trent Cassan, who later went on was with the Calgary Hetman for 6-7 years. I had Casey O'Brien, Gord Pritchard, who was with the Queen City Sports in Regina. He was helping me, and I had young John Odgers. Jeff Odgers' boy was helping. So I always tried to surround myself with really good guys and let everybody have all their say. Of course, I had to have the final say, and it worked out.
You got to take us through, like, you did the marketing for the team and everything. You're the jack of all trades.
Well, I wanted lots of money, so Lyle Walsh was president then. He said, yeah, we'll give you this money, Chess, but you got to do all the sales. And he knew I could sell because I had worked with Lyle at the GX radio station. And so when they gave me a big bonus on anything over so much money, that's where I made all my money. Because as you know, hockey's kind of like being a radio announcer. It's just more glamorous than it is money-wise.
So what's Don Chesney doing now? You're doing some scouting?
Yeah, I'm scouting for Fort Knox a bit. I help those guys out, Jared Williams and his crew. And I'm working for Dauphin Kings. This is my first year with them full-time, doing all of Saskatchewan. So, I mean, I have a game every night, whether it's AAA, Junior B, U15, U16, U13. Even I watch some seniors. So I love being at the rink, and my wife's pretty patient. She lets me go. And, I got some land out there. I pasture some cows in the summer and sell some hay and living the dream now.
When was the last time you were offered a coaching gig?
You know what? I kind of knew that when I won the Royal Bank Cup, and I had a couple of older friends, like really older guys that were good hockey guys. They phoned me and they said, Chess, guess what? Quit, because they're going to fire you. You're going to come back in 2 years, and then they'll say, because you see how it goes, boys. When you're older and you win, they say you got experience. But as soon as you get old and lose, they kick you out. So I knew that when we won that Royal Bank Cup and I got the ring, I said, I'm done being a GM coach. I'm going to go out on top. And so maybe that's even why you guys rolled me in here tonight. If I would have coached 4 years after and got fired and asked Evander Weyburn, he wouldn't even thought of me. So it was best for me to go out on top.
You hear so many stories about you, and you're like a player's coach. Some of the funny things, we're going to hear a lot of stories tonight in the round table and the hot stove. It's going to be a lot of fun. But if you had an NHL coach over the last years, or one that's current right now, that you would be fit, the same mold, maybe a player's coach, a guy that was fun. Would it be maybe a Bruce Boudreau who's not working? He's not working right now. But who would be the Don Chesney of the NHL?
You know what? I'll be honest. When I was 13 years old, my mom put me on the train in Malvo and sent me down to St. Andrews, New Brunswick, on the sea, St. Andrews by the Sea. And Scotty Bowman was one of the head instructors. Scotty Bowman, Doug Harvey, if you guys can remember them old names. And Scotty Bowman was amazing. And back at that time, there was a lot of kids there from the States, and they just had money, but they couldn't play hockey. So Scotty was frustrated, and he come up and he blew the whistle and he said, you know what, half you guys, you're never going to be hockey players, but at least look like one. And I'll never forget that. I was like 13 years old. And just imagine, my mom put me on the train in Malvo, 3 days and 3 nights on the train to Moncton. And the farthest before that we'd ever been was Whitewood to a boat sale. So, like, I had know where the heck we were going. My mom didn't know where she was sending me, but it was a great experience with all the pro guys there.
Whitewood for a bull sale. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so do you know the story about we were hearing the story of the rink here, that they need a new rink because back in the 50s or 60s, the original one burnt down. Then they built this one right next door to us in 4 months, but they built it basically on top of all the rubble and the old slab. And now there's always been issues in this rink. Did you have that when you were coaching here?
You know what? I didn't know that one, so probably just as well as I did. But no, I never heard that. But you know, I know the town of Kenora and surrounding area when they say they're going to do something, then that'll kind of tie into my little speech tonight. But when they say they're going to do something, they really do it, and that's actually why I'm back here 30 years later.
That is so good. What was the craziest, and what was the Lebret? What was it? The Eagle Dome? Is that what they called it?
The old Eagle Dome. Yeah, it was rocking, and of course we'd get the drummers out. You know, when you would see all the drummers, the native guys drumming, and just pounding those drums. And I remember one time we played Kindersley, and they had no clue what was going on. There were a lot of guys from Calgary on that team, and when those drummers started pounding, like it was 5-0 before they even knew where they were. And I always made sure those drummers went a little extra hard, and they were yelling and screaming. And you know, the drum thing is a big thing in the native culture, and it helped us win for sure because it was just a big time advantage for us.
So you said you still kind of follow senior hockey. Speaking of, you watch, you say some senior hockey?
Yeah, I watch these here, like the Kenora Cobras and Churchbridge, this league over here, the South Sask, I think it's called here.
The
Southeast it's called.
Are you following the Round Lake Bears and what they're doing from OCHAP at all?
Well, you know what? I was actually, funny thing you brought that up. I was at a funeral last week. Danny McKay, my old trainer from Lebret Eagles, passed away, and I was asked to speak down there. And Winston Bear, he phoned me in the summer, wanted me to go down to coach the Round Lake Bears. But you know what? I kind of promised my wife I'm going to take her on a holiday, so I didn't want to wreck that. So I had to say no to the Round Lake Bears for this year anyway.
That's breaking news here on the SportsCage. John Chesney. John Chesney was asked.
Well, you know what? Probably one of the craziest things over the years was I was coaching Malvern Millionaires, and we were up in Flin Flon. And back in those days, Flin Flon had terrible teams. They were just trying to get in the playoffs. And I'd look at the schedule and I could see, ooh, they're 9th place, 10th place team. I hate going up there because in those days, the old league, they didn't pay for refs to go up there. They just used the local refs. And those guys would, for every penalty Flin Flon got, you'd get 5 or 6. And one night I was up there and we had 12 penalties to 0. And it was just getting crazy. So I took my cowboy boot. I used to wear snakeskin cowboy boots back in the day. I took it off and I fired it across the ice and just missed the referee's head by about maybe a foot. They said 6 inches, but I think it was more like a foot, 14 inches. And clunk, and then, of course, they threw me out. And I was going across in my sock and feet. And that was kind of hilarious. A lot of people didn't think I got the boot back, but I did because there was the guy that ran the rink's name was Beastie. And he apparently was an old Hell's Angel. And I actually, over the years, I befriended him pretty good. And I'd give him a millionaire pin and maybe a scarf and always chatting it up with him. So when he seen what happened, he got my boot and brought her back to me. But I just think now, like that was 1993. If you threw a cowboy boot across the rink and almost hit a ref in the head, you'd probably be done forever. But Wayne Cartu said, I'm going to suspend you 3 games and fine you $300, but we won't take no money out of the account. So I just missed 3 games. And that's when the rink was full and things were rocking. And now the way hockey is, they've kind of shut all that down.
All right, I don't know if you can hear me out there, but that's Don Chesney. He's going to be speaking tonight. We'll take a quick break. We're doing Hockey Day in Saskatchewan. Thanks so much, Don.
Yeah, see you later.
Don, that's 20 CKR.